Hi, welcome to another edition of Fleet Momentum video series produced by Automotive Fleet magazine. I'm Chris Brown, Associate Publisher of Automotive Fleet. This series is designed to put a spotlight on key leaders, trends, and product offerings in the fleet management industry. This episode is sponsored by and produced in partnership with GPS Trackit. Today, I'm talking to Charles Kriete, CEO of GPS Trackit. Charles and I discuss AI, but more specifically, how small to medium-sized companies that use commercial vehicles but don't necessarily have a dedicated fleet manager can employ AI tools to help them better manage their fleets. But before we begin, remember to follow and connect with us on social media, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss future episodes of Fleet Momentum. Hey, Charles, welcome to Fleet Momentum. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me today, Chris. I appreciate it.
Hey, sure. Well, start by telling us briefly about GPS Trackit.
Yeah, so at GPS Trackit, we're a fleet telematics service provider. We focus really predominantly on what we like to call our field services customers, vocational type customers that really are the folks out there that are servicing day-to-day needs of the American, South American, Latin American consumer. We kind of cover most of the Western Hemisphere as far as that goes, but a lot of most of our customers fit into some sort of local, sort of hyper local service offering, whether that be landscaping, whether that be plumbing, HVAC, so on and so forth. So we really have developed a system where we think about not so much a person that's going to be like a dedicated fleet manager for a large enterprise or something. But when you think about the owner operator for a business like that needs your system to do that much more because they don't have a dedicated fleet manager or something like that, what we find is by the time we get to the fleet manager, we've got way more than they need because, focusing on that owner operator, I think gives us a unique advantage there.
Yeah, and that really puts into context what we're going to talk about today, and that's AI, and really how it's obviously revolutionizing telematics and the fleet industry in general. But really, we can focus on how that's going to help the companies that are running fleets that really don't have a fleet manager. I just want to ask you first, tell us how GPS Trackit has integrated AI in its fleet management software. And what types of functionalities does it enhance?
Yeah, that's a great question. So again, by focusing on that owner operator, we look to offload a lot of things. So a lot of our AI tools have been designed based on feedback from the owner operator customer. So, for example, it would be common for us to say, if you're a gentleman owns a moving company or something like that, and you want to make sure that your drivers are driving responsibly, you want to put the tracking system in place. You might want to have like a dash cam solution in place as an example to make sure that they're not texting and driving while operating your company branded vehicles, et cetera. But you probably don't want to be dealing with all the alerts because guess what? People do that, right? So if you're getting those alerts and then the coaching kind of falls on you as the owner operator of the business, that's not a good solution. That's what most of our competitors do. We've taken a different sort of approach where we've said, hey, we're going to use elements of what's available to us in AI programming right now. And we're going to focus on giving a product at the edge that can do that sort of driver coaching. So for example, we've got that intelligent AI built into like our dash cam solution where it's going to give that coaching in real time via an audio and visual cue on the camera itself in the cab itself. So that the owner operator is responsible for going on to their app on their mobile device or their desktop later, looking at all the alerts and coming back to the driver and doing that. So we allow those owner operators to set up sort of levels where they want to be notified. All right, let the camera do this for first offense, second offense, maybe third offense. I want to know about it if they just are going to keep doing that. And that's an example of something that, we got direct feedback from our customers on. And contrastly, we have a lot in our field services offer, our field sync program, where the actual tablet level software that we've developed in order for those folks to engage. There's a lot of work that needs to go into the customer communication, go into ETA arrival. Customers want to know, the owner operators don't want to be too worried about having that level of communication. And so they've wanted that automated. So a lot of customer communication around route optimization, ETA, efficiency in the platform itself that allows our owner operators to deliver that to their customers and deliver it to their drivers.
Sure. You brought up vid fleet and field sync, and we're touching on it, but can you go even further just to talk about the operational efficiencies that GPS Trackit's clients have experienced really after they've implemented these AI-driven solutions?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I mean, I think, it's kind of twofold. When you talk about the operational efficiencies, you really have to talk about it both from the owner operator perspective and then from the enterprise fleet customer's perspective, right? Because it's two very different conversations. The owner operator, they want all that capability. They want the camera doing more. They want field sync doing more. They want to offload as much of the communication as they can because candidly, they're busy and they want to worry about whatever their job is, whether that's HVAC or plumbing or landscaping, moving, whatever that may be, they want to worry about that. They want to worry about delivering that good experience to their customer and those services to their customer. They don't want to worry about the management of their fleet. So they're looking for all that. And I think we've designed our systems in such a way. Contrastly, to alleviate that, contrastly, when we're talking to fleet managers, sometimes we have sort of the different conversation around operational efficiencies, which is a lot of fleet managers can get nervous about us sort of automating the job, right? I think it's natural. We've got this fear of AI coming and replacing jobs right now. And for that, we always have the same conversation. I've had this same conversation inside GPS Trackit with my own people and own employees. And we have it with our customers too, which is we always reference something. It's a really fascinating thing with new technologies called Jevons paradox. And this came about during the time of the Industrial Revolution, where people were amping up coal, and this, fairly brilliant guy with the last name Jevon, I cannot recall his first name, realized that not only was the efficiencies gained in coal production and coal utilization, not only did it actually drive increases to the actual overall, like everyone thought they were going to lose their jobs, and because the efficiency of coal usage was going up so dramatically, they thought coal miners were going to be out of work and so on and so forth. But because of the efficiencies gained in that, we actually created far more jobs as a result. So yes, we are going to change jobs in fleet. We are already changing jobs in fleet, but we are going to create more jobs inadvertently as a result of being more efficient with these tasks. And that's what Jevons paradox teaches us. And that's what is, I feel like, our incumbent upon us to make sure we educate the enterprise fleet customer on that as well.
Yeah, and so all right, this leads perfectly right into the next question. I mean, in terms of like efficiencies and jobs and everything, generative AI. I mean, that's what on everyone's lips right now. How do you think that's going to change the industry in a broad sense?
Yeah, so it's already changing the industry in a broad sense. I mean, we are users of the current version of generative AI, which I wouldn't really say is pure generative AI. So it depends on what lens we're looking in the time frame on. But I think let me answer it in the short term. With the longer term lens, it gets far more complex, and you start to get into the autonomous vehicles and all that on a longer term lens. But in the next 12 to 24 months, as we see advancements happening here, I think really what we're focused on is, again, we're looking to that owner operator customer and saying, what can we do to offload? So we do a lot of this today. We've talked about a few things related to vid fleet and field sync, customer communication, driver communications. We're doing a lot of that in AI in our current setup, but we want to take that a step further and really get to more of an automated fleet manager type role. So for the owner operator, we feel we can get our software to the place where it's as though they have a full-time fleet manager. And that's our focus right now on the 12 to 24 month lens of, from a generative AI perspective. Certainly the future of our industry gets very exciting when you look into full autonomy on the vehicles, and all that is at the backbone of generative AI. But with the shorter term lens, we look into prediction, better efficiencies, and full-on fleet manager type function in our platform that we think we can deliver in the next 24 months.
Well, really grabbed my last question. Let me do that from the top. Charles, you really kind of already answered my last question, but I'll give you an opportunity for some final thoughts on generative AI, AI in general, and how the future is going to be changed with AI.
Yeah, so I think we did talk through that a little bit, but it's something we're closely monitoring. But again, we go back to the Jevons paradox piece and understanding what new jobs it's going to create. Because there's in our lifetimes, the role of the driver is probably going to be significantly mitigated. But what does that really allow for us to do? That probably allows for us to do more jobs in shorter order when you think about it, right? So that's where I get excited about the industry going. If we can get to full autonomy and full fleet management, that's a function that nobody's getting paid to drive around for the most part. I mean, yeah, the long haul truckers and stuff like that. But when you think about the field services business and stuff, that's time away from servicing other customers. It's time away in the route optimization, route logistics, and all that sort of stuff. So when we get to that place of full generative AI, you can see how Jevons paradox becomes a reality, and we get far more efficient in just our ability to do what our core competency is, whatever that field service offering may be, that's not going to be automated anytime by AI. So that's where we get excited, and that's what we view our role in is how do we get us to that point.
Well, hey, if we're running 3 shifts, we got to have folks, working on those 3 shifts too. To your point about Jevons paradox, that's really true.
Yeah.
Well, hey, listen, Charles, really excited about the future, and thanks for sharing your vision of it today at Fleet Momentum.
Appreciate the time. Always a pleasure, Chris.
All right.